everyone. Happy Friday. How are you guys all doing? It's Friday, and on Fridays we go live to tell you what's new, what's happening at the store, what's happening out in nature. So happy to see you guys. Today was such a nice day. I loved seeing that sun out. I loved seeing all the birds out. Loved hearing all the birds. It was just a really great day for bird action and also to be outside. So I hope you guys had an opportunity to enjoy the nice weather that we had. And if you didn't, I hope you get to do that this weekend, hopefully, right? So today we're going to talk a little bit about spring bird feeding, but before I get started, I want to talk about our events because we do have a couple really great events happening this month. Tomorrow we have Andrew Hedman from Good Steward Ecoscapes coming for a presentation on backyard conservation with living water. So if you are interested in creating habitat that provides with native plants and water that's naturally filtered, this is your presentation, okay? Whether you're in the beginning planning stages or ready to press go on that project, this is for you. And even if you are just thinking about it, this is a great presentation for that. Andrew is so knowledgeable on both native plants and water features. It really melds those two great topics together in a perfect presentation. So definitely come by for that. That's at 11 tomorrow, and there are still open seats, so stop by and come for that, okay? But also happening this month is our spring bird feeder cleaning event. That is April 19th from 10 to 3 p.m. Of course, we're working with partnering with our local Audubon, the Will County Audubon Society, to be able to host this for you guys. And we always have a suggested $3 per feeder donation, and it will be going towards the MODIS project, which helps scientists learn about birds migrating through our area. So really great event that's going to go to a really great project. So you get to come in and bring your feeders in. We'll clean them up for you, scrub them up. You can either stay in the store or you can leave, and we'll call you when your feeders are ready to be picked up. But it's a great opportunity to get those feeders clean so that the birds are happy and healthy and you're ready for spring nesting season. So don't forget about that. And then also this month we're having Kelsey Shaw returning. He's from Possibility Place Nursery, and he's also coming this month to talk about planting natives for 4-season interest. So for that presentation too, if you could call the store to reserve a seat, that is the best practice, okay? Otherwise, you can come in and take your chances, but we may not have enough seating, but come anyway, because we will pull every seat out of this store, even the ones in the office, to make sure that we have enough for everyone that wants to come. All right. In May, we do have some great events coming up. You can check our website for more of those events that are coming up. A couple of ones I want to mention is, first of all, our birding opportunity, our bird outing at Possibility Place Nursery. That's on May 3rd. And then on May 5th, May 5th is a Monday, and instead of our usual bird walk at Rock Run here right behind the store, we're actually going to be going to Messenger Woods in Homer Glen, and it's going to be a great pop-up bird outing, and everyone is welcome to join us for it. It's going to be in the morning, and one thing I thought would be fun, and many of you have asked for this, is to do kind of a field trip. So we're going to try to do a quarterly bird field trip, and on May 5th will be our first one. So please come and join us for that. And then also happening in May, on May 10th at 6 p.m., we are going to be having a native plant container garden workshop. And during this workshop, you are going to physically make a container with native plants. And again, that is with a partnership with Good Steward Ecoscape. So that's going to be really fun. Look out for the registration for that because there are limited seats. The cost is going to be $45 for that, but it includes 5 native plants, your pot, and your dirt, and all of that. So you're ready to go and place your pot outside or in a different container, however you'd like to do it. But all the supplies will be provided for you, and you just come and show up and kind of get your hands dirty planting these plants in your own container. So it's really, really fun. We also have 2 native plant sales in May that are going to be in person. So you know that we have this online ordering system that you can still order. It's not necessarily pre-orders, but the sales are live, but you can come in and scan the QR code or go to our website and find the link to order native plants online. And when you order online through here, all the plants are coming from Possibility Place Nursery, and they're going to be shipped straight to your door. All right, for our in-person native plant sales, we are having our first one May 2nd and 3rd, so that's Friday and Saturday, and it's going to be here at the store, and that one is hosted by Good Steward Ecoscapes. So stay tuned for all the information. I'm pretty sure it's up on our website already. But then at the end of the month, May 25th, I think it's 24th, because it's a Saturday, is our Possibility Place native plant sale in person. So you have 2 great opportunities in May to do native plant shopping, to fill in holes or get started on your native plant landscape. So get those wheels turning and think about what plants you want to add to your habitat, your backyard habitat or front yard habitat, and how you can use native plants to not only attract more birds, but more pollinators like butterflies. So use the native landscape as a resource to attract more wildlife. And tonight we're going to talk about some of that. How you guys, how all of us can do things to attract more birds this season. And part of this is all about spring bird feeding, because I don't know about you, but I am super excited for all the spring and summer visitors to return. And on top of that, spring is also a great time to feed the birds, because not only are you going to see new birds, but you're going to maybe even see some new bird behaviors. And if you aren't putting out that welcome mat, you might miss it. Okay, and this is a fun time to be in nature, in your backyard, and enjoying the birds and wildlife that is visiting. Every day from here on out, we're going to be seeing more and more. Did you know that we live in a great area? Like, so great, because we get hundreds of thousands of birds that are going to be migrating through our area. So we really get to witness so many birds that other places in our country don't get to see. So be ready and put that welcome mat out so that you can attract the most and see the most this season. All right, I'm going to help you and tell you what you got to do to have that happen, okay? So first things first, I want to talk about is what birds we can expect to see, right? That's the big question, is who are we waiting for? What do they look like? Who are those major players? And these are them, guys. So up top here, this side, Up top here, I have the hummingbirds, our ruby-throated hummingbirds, the male and the female, and of course the orioles, right? These are the Baltimore Orioles and the orchard orioles also. Now these guys will be coming soon. We expect them to come, any day now, right? They should be coming very soon. But also, characters like the wrens will be coming soon too. They usually arrive in April also. But who else can we expect to join us? Now these guys over here, we already have seen them. I know many of you have told me you've seen the red-winged blackbirds. You're starting to see the grackles. These are our native blackbirds, and they are back. But these guys over here, right? What about these guys? Who are they, and what can we do to attract them, right? So these ones right here are our rose-breasted grosbeaks. Right, the male and the female. The female is so pretty too. She has that really bright white racing stripe on her eye, but they have that really thick bill. Okay, that's related to cardinals. So think about cardinals and the things cardinals like, and you're going to be able to attract these grosbeaks. Indigo buntings are down here. Of course, the male in that beautiful, stunning indigo blue color. And then the female is a little bit less showy, but nonetheless similar beauty. She is all brown, but absolutely stunning. And down here we have our summer tanagers. So the scarlet tanagers are here, will be here probably, these guys will arrive sometime in May. So you can expect them to come around May time. Sometimes in April we'll get the tanagers to start arriving, as well as this guy here. And I know it's a small picture, but it's a catbird. And catbirds are a wonderful addition to your backyard. Not only are they so much fun because they have a really cool call, but also they actually have whiskers like a cat. So if you ever get to see them up close, you should look out for their whiskers to kind of add to the fun of catbirds coming to our yard. Oops. All right, there we go. I thought I almost hit end, and I did not want to end. All right, so why are birds migrating up here? Okay, why don't they stay down south where it's nice and warm and there's lots of fruit and flowers to drink nectar from? Why are these birds coming up here? There are two big reasons, right? The one is the north has a ton of insects. So they are coming up here for the bug buffet, right? And they're going to come up here and dine on all these insects that the north is going to have. But the other big part of why birds migrate is because of nesting sites. If we thought about all these birds, and these are just some of them, I haven't even hit on warblers, right? These birds, if all of them stayed down south, there would be a lot of competition for nesting sites, nesting material, and food resources to feed the young that they're trying to raise. So that is why birds migrate. They come up here because they don't have as much competition as if they were to all stay down south. But there's also an abundance of food, especially food for baby birds. Baby birds, most of our songbird species feeds their young insects. So that is the big drive. They're coming up here to have babies and to feed those babies so that they can grow big and strong with the insects that the north provides. So it's a really great time to provide the things that the birds need so that you can attract them most. And that is the big thing, is how can you attract them? What do you do? Well, think about what you need. What do you need to survive that makes you want to stay around in an area, right? Same with the birds. If you can think about the things that they need, you can offer those things and make your yard more attractive for them to stay. Okay, so think food, water, shelter, and places to raise young. Let's talk about those real quick, okay? Let's talk real fast about water, because I know you guys know how important water is. Birds need it to bathe, to keep their feathers maintained for flight ready condition, but water is also important to drink, right? They need to stay hydrated. But did you know that some birds that may not be typical feeder birds may come to water in return? Okay, so not every bird will come to a feeder, right? But all birds need water. And the biggest way that you can attract birds to water is by getting it moving. So these are two great options. The water wriggler is awesome. This thing, you put it in your bird bath, and there are these little feet. I don't know if you can see it on this picture right here, but those little dots, the black dots on this image, are actually these little feet. And they paddle back and forth, and it just vibrates the water, making a little bit of movement, and that alone is an attraction to birds. Same with this, the solar bubbler. This, again, birds are gonna be able to hear the sound, they see the sight of the water moving, and it really is a bird magnet. Birds just cannot resist the sight and sound of moving water. So if you really want to attract the most birds to your yard this season, get your water moving. Okay, number one, get water. Number two, get it moving, right? All right, that's number one, water. Number two, it's a big one, is all about food, right? Birds need certain things in spring during nesting season that they need in any other time of the year. Nesting has its own set of challenges. And one of those challenges is having enough energy to do all the tasks required in nesting. Okay, so birds need a lot of protein, and they're looking for a lot of calcium too to help develop healthy eggs and then healthy babies with healthy bones. So for that reason, you're going to want to put out stuff like Nesting Super Blend, right? This stuff is packed, highest protein count on the market for a seed blend, packed with protein. This is what stuff your birds are looking for. But it's not to say this is the only option, right? There are other foods, other wild bird unlimited seed blends that are just as great. Make sure we have a lot of sunflower seed, heavy in the blend, but add things like peanuts, bark butter bits, mealworms are all going to be high in protein. Bark butter has its own benefits to just offering bark butter. So whether it's the tub, the spreadable version, or it's the suet cake, or it's the little balls versions, these are not only packed with the protein that birds need during nesting season, but it also has the added calcium. So it's a really great thing to offer to birds this time of year to make sure that they have all the nutritional needs met so they don't have to go to the neighbors or across town and leave your backyard habitat, because you're going to provide it all in your own habitat for them. All right? That's the big thing on food. How have your goldfinches been coming? Getting golder and brighter? They need a lot of protein too to finish that molt out. So something great to offer is not only the Niger, but try adding Finch blend or sunflower chips. That protein is going to help them make those new feathers. Feathers are all made out of protein. So they are going to need protein in their diet more so now than any other time of the years because they need the protein. Yes, they do. Who can't resist the M&M and the trail mix? I always call the bark butter bits my M&Ms because they are seriously treats and the birds cannot get enough of them. Absolutely. Thing I want to talk about is with shelter is not just, I know we talk about roosting boxes and things, but shelter is so important. And I don't think we talk enough about shelter in the way of what your landscape is offering, right? Shelter is those native trees, those oak trees, right? They are providing not only shelter from bad weather. What about that those other native shrubs in your yard? Those deciduous trees that birds are using to not only make nests but seek the shelter when it's unfavorable weather. But think Think about stick piles and things that you can create in your yard that provide shelter from when a predator comes. Okay, so like hawks are a big predator of birds. You can help provide shelter by putting areas in your yard that birds can quickly escape to when a predator comes in. Okay, so think about that. Think about what native plants that you can provide that can provide shelter for your birds. But also, native plants are pretty awesome in that they also provide food and they also provide nesting material. So in ways of food, we know native plants not only can provide, depending on the species of native plant, can provide seed, they can provide nuts, they can provide berries and fruit, right? But they can also provide nectar, right? Native plants themselves also support native insects. And remember in the beginning, I told you, what do 98% of our songbird species feed their young? Insects. So if you really want to attract more fun birds this spring and summer, plant native plants that are going to support native insects that they can feed their young. Okay? It's all a big, big picture, right? Let's also talk about nesting, because we did talk a little bit about this in the past couple months here, but I want to kind of re-hit on it, because I think it's a big part of this time of year is that we can provide safe and great nesting resources for our birds. So sometimes it's a nest box, but we know not all birds will use a birdhouse or a nest box to build their nest. Some birds build a cup nest out in nature using material like these natural fibers, right? This hummer helper is used by not only goldfinches, but the hummingbirds love it. So many birds will use this material to line the inside or make their nest with. It's great material. Same with this ball. It's excellent nesting material. And I want to put this out here, okay? Because I get asked this often. Can I still use dryer lint? How about yarn? Those options may have been okay once upon a time, but now science tells us that we can do better. And I think we should do better for our birds. Let's help them make better nesting material choices by offering and making safe nesting material more available for them. Okay, so say goodbye to the dryer lint. Don't put out the yarn, especially yarn that's dyed with synthetic dyes or made with synthetic material. Opt for all natural. Think alpaca nesting, right? Like that fur that we will be getting in soon. It's coming soon. Pet hair even can be a little bit dangerous if it's treated with chemicals like flea and tick treatments. So be mindful and make more reliable resources easier and more accessible. So as the weather starts to warm up, when we start getting into consistent 50-degree weather, you can go outside and clean up your yard a little bit by taking out those grasses and putting little sticks together. I use my seed wreath feeders, my suet cages. I'll put them on baking trays and dishes and put them out in my, maybe not right on the ground, but I'll put it on a table in my yard. And you wouldn't believe the amount of birds that come by and just take what they need and go. And the fun part is watching where they go to hopefully be able to see where they're building their nest so that I can enjoy the rest of the process of nesting. It's a really great time of year to see a lot of these behaviors, but you can't see them and you won't be able to enjoy them nearly as much if you aren't providing the things that they need. Okay, so make sure that you're doing those things. Create the habitat in your own backyard and you will be well rewarded by a wide variety of birds, okay? Couple things to think about coming up. Don't forget, native plant sales are coming soon. We will have them in person here. So check out our website to find all that information. Don't forget our feeder cleaning event is April 19th from 10 to 3. And then don't forget tomorrow we have Andrew from Good Steward Ecoscapes coming to talk about backyard conservation with living water. So some great resources, events, things that are happening. Take advantage of these experts that we're bringing in. Andrew and Kelsey are native plant experts that are doing things in the field every day to be experts at this, right? So they know native plants like I know my birds, right? They know native plants, and they are great resources to help you create the habitat that you are looking for in your own backyard. All right, real quick before we get off, I want to show you these 3 great migration tools that I really recommend that you look at. Couple of them. One that I do not have listed on here is eBird. So if you saw my post yesterday about Orioles, those images, those migration maps, are all from eBird. And so I logged into my account, and if you search the bird and hit larger map, there are 3 little dots at the top of your right-hand side of your page. You can filter that map to show you certain times of the year, or better yet, certain years. So for those images that I posted yesterday, I filtered the map to show the current year. And it's going to show you where they are, and that purple color of sightings is going to be determined by what month they are arriving. So that's how you can kind of check. That's a really great resource. It's number 1 is eBird. Use eBird to track migration. But these are some other great resources. The top one up here is showing Birdcast. Birdcast is also put out by Cornell. So this migration tool actually is predicting how many birds are going to be in our area. So as you can see in this map, the brighter the color, so as you see this light pink down here, sometimes it becomes so bright that it is white. And yes, we will see that in our area too. As birds migrate, that color will change throughout the country. Okay, and some days and some nights will be a hot spot night, meaning hundreds of thousands of birds are traveling overnight. Why do they travel overnight? Well, believe it or not, many of the birds are using the stars as constellation. That is why it's so important to turn your lights down at night during migration season, so birds don't become confused and collide with windows and other objects as they're trying to migrate through. So keep the lights down low, especially non-essential lights outside, and you're going to help those birds migrate even better and more successfully. These 2 down here are other great resources. This one right here is Hummingbird Central, and hummingbirdcentral.com is another great resource. This one only tracks hummingbirds, but it's a great tool nonetheless to track your hummingbirds. When can we expect them in our area? Hopefully any day now, right? Down here is the Journey North portal. Journey North has a couple of different species of not only birds, but insects such as monarchs that you can track, okay? Again, many of these are all relied on by citizen science, meaning people like you and I are reporting that we saw an oriole, or we saw a grosbeak, or we saw a hummingbird, and then they go to those sites and they report their sighting. So without people that are seeing them and reporting them, we wouldn't be able to predict when they're going to be in our area next. So use the tools, build the habitat, and they will come. And you can enjoy them even more by seeing these new species and watching their incredible bird behaviors this spring and summer. All right, unless you guys have any questions, we'll see you tomorrow for Andrew's presentation on backyard conservation with living water, or perhaps I'll see you the following week for our bird feeder cleaning event. But either way, whichever you come, whenever you're coming, we are happy to have you, and we're so thankful for all your support, whether it's on our Friday Lives or coming into the store, even if it's for an event or to shop for your bird food. Just remember that we are a small business and we are a local business. Our staff is from your community, and we absolutely love to educate you and to help you with all your bird feeding problems. And we absolutely love to hear your stories about the birds that you are enjoying in your backyard. So thank you guys so much for watching, and join us next Friday around 5:30 p.m. as we go live to tell you what's new at the store and what's new out in nature next week. All right, you guys have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.